Found myself starting a company called 7ly.org. And what a crazy ride this experience was. And the job as the CEO is to cast vision, it's to lead people, and it's to monitor the market. And I got super fascinated with monitoring the markets. I was obsessed with that. I was wondering, why the heck is my business working? We're giving away 23% of our top line revenue. We gave 5 times our net profit in 2013, millions of dollars away, $7 at a time. Why the heck is this working? And I realized that there was a shift. There was actually a shift towards good. It wasn't a trend. There was a shift. There was actually a good amount of people pushing in the same direction. And I was looking at companies like Tom's and Warby Parker and Giving Keys and 7ly and Crochet Kids and all these different brands that were crushing out in the marketplace, trailblazing faster than other companies were. Why? Why was it working? We all knew that we were going here, but what was happening? This was the question. Now that we had this shift, I'm still going to give you some examples of some companies and industries that I think that maybe didn't catch the vibe. They didn't catch, what was happening. This is my doctor's office. My old doctor's office, since I've moved to Bend now. Raise your hand if you have a doctor's office that looks similar to this. Okay, it's embarrassing, right? You're like, I don't want to raise my hand. So from the moment you walk in, you do not feel cared for. Okay, you walk in, you write your name down with a classic pharmaceutical company pen on this dirty signage sheet with this germ-covered magazines from 2009, tacky wallpaper, crappy seats that haven't been cleaned since 2001. You're thinking, what the heck is going on here? You get in, you sit down, you're sitting watching people come in and out every 7 minutes. You're thinking, holy crap, I can't believe they're actually getting people healed. They're not. They're prescribing. They're giving people drugs. What is going on? Freaking out over here. And I start realizing that doctors who are making $400,000 a year are starting to value profit more than the patients that they serve. They're starting to, why can't they spend 15, 20 minutes with me? Why? I want to talk to them about it. I don't want them to just give me a drug. I don't want Paxil, right? I don't want Xanax. These doctors, can they not update their waiting rooms? Is that not important to them? Look at all the files in the back. Can they not go to iPads? What's going on? Food companies have increased efficiency at the cost of quality to create a product that they wouldn't even feed to their own families. Executives have chosen a level of greed and immorality. That's not the right slide. Maybe it's missing? Okay. Executives have chosen a level of greed and immorality that's caused pain to the thousands of individuals. You remember the AIG scam and all the different things that were going on. This is craziness. They vowed to care for these customers and these employees, but they failed. Cell phone companies. Oh my gosh, there we go. We are getting there. Cell phone companies. Look at this. You love that logo, right? Cell phone companies have forced 2-year contracts upon our customers rather than just creating a product that people would stand behind on their own. So stupid, right? Why do we have contracts? I would just rather just stay with someone that I cared about. I like AT&T, which I really don't. See, but the interesting thing is, even in this dark time, there's a bright counterpart arising from this trend in capitalism. A counterpart that's healthy, a counterpart that's organic, a counterpart that says that we'll pay more to offer integrity and honesty. A counterpart that says we don't just care about our customers, we care about our world. Many of you guys have called this counterpart conscious capitalism, social good, philanthropic capitalism. But is conscious capitalism a generational phenomenon, or is it a time-tested pattern? So I believe that organizations function in 4 distinct eras of time. And I've studied this for the last couple years. And again, I think this is actually going to tell us exactly where we were, where we are, and where we're going. And it's going to give you a good view and perspective on capitalism and companies and what they look for and what they look like and how you feel about them. And hopefully it puts words to the emotions that you might be having. So I could use the financial industry, the medical industry. I'm going to use the automotive industry as an example, and the company Ford, because everybody knows who Ford is, and everybody probably drives a car or has a car here. So we're going to move into the first era. The honest, exceptional, and moral era. This is people over profit, right here. All companies start here. This is square one. This is when companies are captivated by their values. This is when craftsmanship, quality, authenticity, integrity are all at the core of the company. This is Ford, 1914, when they became the first company in the world to offer a 40-hour work week. In the face of their competitors offering an 80 to 100-hour work week, with a huge increase in employee factory death, Ford said, no, we're actually going to do this right. This is our competitive edge. We're going to come in and say, hey, you can only work 5 days a week. You need to go home and be with your family. We're going to give you benefits. We're going to work with the unions. And this is incredible at this time. This is huge. See, though, we've all realized that companies grow, especially successful companies. And they start to make subtle exceptions and changes and deviations to make room for their growth. And it moves them into a different era of time in their company. The efficient, satisfactory, and ethical era. This is people and profit. This is when companies start to become a little bit addicted to more. And they start confusing being bigger with being better. This is when assembly lines, outsourcing, mass production, speed move to the core of the company. This is Ford, 1955. It's in their heyday. They're rolling out the Mustang, the Shelby, the Cobra, some of the most highly manufactured vehicles of all time. And they start rolling out plants all over the country, internationally. See, and then slowly Ford, fueled by a little bit of greed and a little bit of a lack of control of their growth, starts to slip just a little bit lower and moves them into another era. Not that era. There we go. We got this. The deceptive, unacceptable, and unethical era. This is profit over people. This is when companies are destroyed by greed. This is when planned obsolescence, shortcuts, layoffs, disproportionate wealth move to the core of the company. This is Ford, 1971, with the rollout of the Ford Pinto. Okay? I don't know if anybody drove a Ford Pinto in here, but if you did, I'm so glad you're alive. The Ford Pinto, research tells me that over 900 people had died, many of which from burning alive in that car. The gas tank would explode when you got in a car accident. Let me give you some perspective here. Toyota, do you guys remember the accelerator thing where the accelerator got stuck? We actually drove a Camry and we were all freaking out, thinking, oh my God, I'm going to die in this car. 89 people died in the Camrys because of that. It was, on CNN and New York Times, and I think Saturday Night Live even did a skit on it. Okay, this is 10 times that, 900 people. This is pre-social media, so it wasn't as intense, right? Ford released a statement a few years later that said, we knew about the design flaw, but we thought it was actually cheaper to pay for the lawsuits than to fix the car. So, could Ford have done that in 1914 and stayed in business? Would have Ford done that in 1914 and expected to stay in business? Something has occurred. Their founding values have become a footnote in their history, just a little piece on their mission page. Something had changed.